Namaste, pranam, Gita dhyana. Om Parthaya pratibodhitam bhagavata narayanena swayam vyasena gratitam purāṇam madhye mahabharatam advaitam ritavarshinim bhagavatim ashtadashadhyayinim ambatva manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna, the ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Akshar Brahma Yoga, the yoga of imperishable Brahman, that Satchitananda, who is the ultimate the truth, out of whom this entire universe creation has got projected, and we are part of that creation, listening to these wonderful words of Sri Krishna, who is addressing the doubts raised by Arjuna in the at the start of this adhyaya, in the first and second shloka, regarding the nature. I mean, what Sri Krishna told us in the Jnana Vijnana Yoga, the last two verses. Now, Sri Krishna has addressed all the, the seven doubts that Arjuna had raised with sufficient clarification on the last question that Arjuna had asked. How is it that at the time of death, if a person meditates upon the Lord, he reaches the Lord? He becomes one with the Lord. He becomes one with that ultimate reality. And Sri Krishna has taken us along that particular path. And the last verse that we read, the 8th verse, Sri Krishna says, it is a matter of practice, constant practice. Throughout your life, one should always contemplate on the ultimate reality, on the Lord, on the Divine Mother. And that is the time, at the time of death, which comes totally unexpected. It is not pre-planned. At such and such time you are going to die, so 5 minutes from that time, start chanting the name of the Lord. No, it doesn't happen that way, Sri Krishna says. Death can come any moment. So one has to practice rigorously, taking the name of the Lord throughout his life. If someone is lucky enough, maybe in spite of living the worldly life, it might happen with the compassion of the Lord, with the grace of the Lord, that at the time of death. But those cases are so very rare. At the time of death, they might be immediately start chanting the name of the Lord and go to the Lord. But those cases are so very few, so very few. In normal course, people who have led the worldly life or even the spiritual life, at the moment of death, it is extremely difficult unless and until one has practiced throughout the life of chanting, repeating the name of the Lord. So Sri Krishna says in the 8th shloka, he has taught us, Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa na anyagamina paramam purusham divyam yati parthānucintayan. O Partha, O son of Prutha, O son of Kunti, at the last moment, it is possible for one to think upon the Paramam Purusham Divyam, that supreme reality, that resplendent reality, the Purusha from whom this entire creation has come up. It is possible through abhyasa yoga yuktena. That is, one has to practice throughout his life. And na anya gamina, with thoughts, the chetasa, with the intellect, with the thoughts, the thinking process, not diverting to any other thing. No anya gamina, let your thoughts don't allow them to go anywhere but to the lotus feet of the Lord. And then when this happens, paramam purusham divyam yati partha anuchintayan. Oh Partha, make this a practice, regular practice, to meditate on that supreme, resplendent Purusha, Divya and Param Purusha. There is no other go. The moment one does this, the path is clearly shown to us by Sri Krishna, that one reaches the ultimate. Now, today we are going to read not one shloka but two shloka. Traditionally, the 9th and 10th shloka of this Akshara Brahma Yoga, they are read together, because there is a tremendous continuity between 9th and 10th. In the 9th shloka, Sri Krishna has explained the total nature of the Brahman. What is this Brahman? What is this Purusha that he has talked about? The Purusha which is Paramam, which is Divyam. His qualifications, his qualities, what kind of Purusha is that, is explained in the 9th and in the 10th shloka, focusing on these attributes of the Purusha. Although Purusha is supposed to be attributeless, although Purusha is supposed to be Akshara, that is imperishable, we can't give a name and form to the Purusha as such. But there are certain things by which we can at least imagine what kind of the thing that is. What is that ultimate reality? So Sri Krishna is explaining in the 9th shloka the description of this particular Parama Divya Purush, on whom one has to meditate throughout life. One has to make it a practice of meditating upon that Parama Divya Purusha through the entire life. So let us see this 9th shloka. Kaviṁ purāṇam anuśhāsitāram aṇor aṇīyānsam anusmared sarvasya dhātāram achintya-rūpam āditya-varṇaṁ tamasaḥ parastāt. Such a beautiful description of that Parama Divya Purusha Sri Krishna has given. He has mentioned some traits, that kaviṁ, purāṇam. Kaviṁ is kavi. Typically, one understands the meaning of kavi to be a poet, a learned fellow. Here it is taken with the intention of explaining a highly knowledgeable person, highly intelligent person, the omniscient, all-knowing. So that Parama Purusha is kaviṁ. He is all-knowing. He knows everything. And Sri Krishna has told that I know each and everything, the entire past, the present and the future of all the beings. What are you talking about? Kaviṁ. He is omniscient. He is all-knower. He is all-pervading. That is the kaviṁ. That is first attribute. Second, purāṇam. He is the ancient. Even before the creation, even before the Brahman got into this thought of projecting as Prakriti, manifesting as Prakriti by creation of the Sattva Rajas Tamas, by creation of that Mahamaya, the great power of illusion. This Prakriti came into existence, got projected from that Purusha, a Parama Divya Purusha. It is a Purāṇam. It is the most ancient one. There was nothing beyond this. There is nothing before Purusha. Purusha is the ultimate source. On the time scale, on the time scale today, if we are saying 2022, just imagine what it was millions and millions and millions years ago. Still that is a time scale. Now Sri Krishna says, this Brahman, there is no start point as such on the time scale. Time scale originates from me. The Brahman doesn't belong to time scale. purāṇam, even before the creation, even before the first born for that matter. Then anuśhāsitāram, he is the controller, he is the governor, he decides. He decides what is to happen when. Anuśhāsitāram, he has laid down his rules. He governs as per his norms, as per his rules. So we have omniscient, we have the ancient, we have purāṇam. Then aṇor aṇīyānsam. Aṇor is atom, the tiniest particle of this creation, the atom. And Sri Krishna says this Brahman is aṇur, is even smaller than that atom which exists in this universe. You cannot see it even with the microscope. You cannot see it even with the electronic microscope. At least those small things you can see under the microscope, those microorganisms, single cellular and all that. But Brahman is minuter than the minutest. It is the subtler than even the atom. And anusmared. Anusmared is one who remembers. One who remembers Brahman with these attributes. Kaviṁ, purāṇam, anuśhāsitāram, aṇor. Then sarvasya dhātāram, achintya-rūpam. Sarvasya dhātāram. He is holding everything together. He is supporting everything. Whatever this creation is there, our galaxy, and then we have some neighboring galaxies, all the stars and planets, they are perfectly, placed in certain positions. Now it is this Brahman, this Parama Divya Purusha, who is supporting this entire thing, the entire universe that has been projected out of the Brahman. It has Brahman as its support. Our Milky Way, our galaxies and what not, even all this entire creation for that matter. Everything finds its support in that one Brahman. So sarvasya dhātāram, achintya-rūpam. How is its form? Rupa. Achintya. One cannot think about his form, his name. No. We don't even know whether that thing is he or she. Achintya. It is beyond our comprehension, beyond the limited intelligence of a human being, so-called the most intelligent animal. Compared to the level of knowledge of this Purusha, he is a kaviṁ, all-knowing, omniscient. Compared to that, a human mind, a human intellect, it has got such a limitation. All the knowledge we get is because of these five senses that we have got. That helps us taking the things in the form of knowledge. And we think, oh, I have got great knowledge, which is insignificant. So whatever knowledge human beings have got, with that knowledge, one cannot comprehend the form of the Lord. The Rūpam achintyam. And then āditya-varṇaṁ. His varnam is he is the glow. The glow is like sun. how terrific glow sun has. We can't even look at sun, for more than a few seconds directly. We can't look into sun unless and until there is some covering of a cloud or the sun is rising or setting. Otherwise, the full-blown sun is so resplendent, is so shining, so illumining. Āditya-varṇaṁ, effulgence is like sun. It is absolutely unbearable to tolerate that effulgence. One has to just think about it. That's it. One cannot look into the sun directly for more than a few seconds without the help of certain tools. Maybe putting on goggles and a dark glass, we may be able to see the sun, but otherwise no. To the naked eye, sun is beyond focus. It is so effulgent. And tamasaḥ, parastāt, the destroyer of the darkness, destroyer of tamas. That is these are the attributes that Sri Krishna has described this Brahman to be. The kaviṁ, the purāṇam, the all-knowable, the most ancient, and minuter than the minutest atom, and one who constantly remembers this Brahman, who is again dhātāram, who is the supporter of all, achintya-rūpam. His form cannot be thought of, cannot be conceived with these limited senses that we have got. And he is āditya-varṇaṁ, the effulgent like sun. And tamasaḥ parastāt, he is beyond all the darkness. Darkness is, it doesn't prevail in his jurisdiction. He is much beyond darkness. There is no place for darkness in the realm of this Parama Divya Purusha. So that is the characteristics of the Brahman. And Sri Krishna says, one who thinks about him, one who has smaredhya, one who constantly keeps on thinking on this kind of the ultimate being. Prayāṇa-kāle manasāchalena. Prayāṇa-kāle manasāchalena, with the unwavered mind at the time of death, at the last moment. The life force is about to go out, and at that time, having practiced all through the life, focusing on these attributes of the Brahman, at the last moment, with the achala manasa, with the unwavering mind, completely focused on thinking about the Brahman. Bhaktyā, yukto, yoga-balena chaiva, yoga-balena cha eva, and also with the power of that strength of that yoga and devotion. Bhaktyā yukto, yoga-balena chaiva. It is not just the yoga for that matter. Yoga, the strength of yoga, which is supported with bhakti, with the devotion, with fully devoted mind. And in that yogic state, now what is that yogic state? Bhruvor madhye pranam āveśhya samyak. Bhruvor madhye. Bhruvor is eyebrows. With all the thoughts focused here at the center of the eyebrows, Sri Krishna says. Bhruvor madhye pranam āveśhya samyak. The entire life force, as it were. What is focused here? Not just the thoughts. Thoughts with the life force, that life energy which is which differentiates the living from the non-living. That entire life energy, that life force, pranam āveśhya samyak. It is all focused here, in the center of the eyebrows. Satam param purusham upaiti divyam. Well, fixing the prana in the middle of the eyebrows. He, that devotee, that yogi, that great person, he reaches the ultimate Brahman. No confusion over that, Sri Krishna says. So, such a simple method Sri Krishna has given. Provided we all perform that abhyasa yoga, we all practice throughout thinking about this Brahman having these 8 attributes, and at the time of death, the entire life force, the entire life energy having focused here in the center of the eyebrows, thinking about him. When one ends up this life, then one attains him. Now, there is a reason, physiological reason why Sri Krishna asks us to focus the life energy in between the eyebrows, the madhye. As per the location of the chakras in our body, we have got all these 6 chakras. There is a 7th plane. The 6th planes are all throughout our located at the centers, the planes, all along the spinal cord. Like we have Mooladhara, we have Swadhisthana, we have Manipur. Mooladhara is at the base of the spinal cord. Then we have after Mooladhara is Swadhisthana, which is at the level of the regenerative organs. Then we have the 3rd plane, that is Manipura chakra, Manipura plane of Manipur, in line with our navel. Then here at the heart we have the Anahata chakra. We have Vishuddha chakra here at the throat. And then we have the Ajna over here. Ajna chakra between the eyebrows here. And there is a 7th plane. Although the chakra wise there are designated 6. There is a 7th plane. There is a 7th plane, Sahasrara, which is here. It is a subtle opening here at the above the skull. And when the mind, when the life force is focused here in the middle of the eyebrows, normally what happens? How do we die? We have got these 9 openings. After all, this body is considered to be the Puri of Navadvara. We have discussed it earlier, the Navadvara Puri, and therefore that Purusha, one who dwells in this citadel of 9 openings, is Purusha. He is a tiny form of that Purusha, which has come down and taken hold of this body for some time frame. Till the time that Purusha dwelling inside realizes its oneness with the Purusha, with all these qualities, that attributes that Sri Krishna has elaborated. The ancient, the omniscient, and the supporter of all, everything. Now, when this, the life force, it goes out, it decides to discard this body. When the Purusha decides, Purusha dwelling inside, decides to discard this body, the life force has to go out. With life force still in the body, the Purusha cannot leave. So what happens? The life force has to go out from somewhere. Now we have got these 9 openings. Navadvara Puri, the citadel of 9 gates. From one of these gates, the prāṇam, the life force, it just escapes. And then, that is, the story gets over for that particular, birth. The story gets over. Now, Sri Krishna, when he is telling us to focus our entire life force at the center of the eyebrows. This life force. Now, this other 9 openings, we are very clear. We know, we can see them. These the openings of the nose and the eyes and even the ears, the mouth, and the openings of evacuation organs and everything. We can see the openings. But the subtle opening we have here, the sahasrara, it is beautifully hidden. We can't see it as an opening. And Shri Krishna says, when the life energy is focused here, this is the subtle opening that the life energy makes use of in leaving the body and making this indweller Purusha merge with the Paramadivya Purusha. That is the end of the cycle of the birth and death. So with that clarity, Sri Krishna today, he has taught us how to meditate upon that Purusha. And for that, we have to practice all throughout the life. So that was our reading for the 9th and 10th shloka together in today's reading of the Akshar Brahma Yoga. And with that, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ram Krishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami Ji.